Now in Thailand, the popular tourist destination of Phuket is reopening today to vaccinated foreign visitors. Tourists are allowed back without quarantine if they are fully vaccinated and have tested negative. The government expects around 100,000 foreign visitors in the next 3 months and an estimated revenue of about $270 million. The collapse of Thailand's tourism and the falling consumer sentiment have left the country's retail industry in dire straits. And household debt has also reached an all-time high. Our correspondent Dusita Saokaew reports.
It was a long run. After 35 years, Tokyo, a major Japanese department store in Bangkok's MBK Center, bids sayonara. But this bare shell only scratches the surface of the devastation felt inside. It's noon on a weekday. In pre-COVID times, over 120,000 shoppers walk through this mall each day. Now, vendors sit and wait for customers that don't arrive. This shop has occupied this space for 15 years. The brand's logo, now shoehorned from the storefront, hints at the truth. This store, like many here, will never reopen.
We kept on waiting and hoping that soon things will get better, but we couldn't stop bleeding. We realized that we cannot win this battle and decided to close down our store.
Shop owners and traders like Malay Rat are on the front line of a crisis sweeping retailers across the country. Thailand's $120 billion retail industry is in dire straits.
Thailand's tourism industry gave rise to Bangkok's mega shopping malls, led by the Chinese with their formidable purchasing power that was booming until this pandemic. In the short distance of less than 2 kilometers, this elevated walkway connects a dozen shopping malls. But walking through these malls now is a completely different experience. The tourists have gone and locals just aren't shopping.
These empty malls perhaps conceal a much deeper darkness, one of unemployment, high debt, and an economy in tatters.
When they lose their job, they have less money, they have to borrow from anywhere. I think that's why household debt is increased. The number is the highest in 10 to 20 years. It's almost to 90% of GDP.
A look inside and one can see evidence of dwindling income and high debt. Consumer confidence has fallen to the lowest point since the 1998 Asian financial crisis. The pandemic has prompted one of the most seismic shifts in consumer behavior, forcing retailers to adapt in the most volatile of times in recent history.
Retail operators have to adapt to what customer wants, adopt more agile retail format, focusing more on local spending rather than relying on tourists.
And so the relentless building continues, because they believe there will always be a place for brick and mortar retail. Because a mall in Thailand goes beyond straightforward consumption. Because one day shoppers will return, but to a retail landscape that has inevitably changed forever. Dusita Saokaew, CGTN, Bangkok, Thailand.